Thank you. So our topic for today is counterintuitive facts of digitalization. It's not only about this, but it's just a general thought that will be like elaborate during this speech. So I'm the first speaker, as you know. Yeah, and that's why I will try to just warm up you a little bit, and we will start from like pretty, I believe, straightforward question. What do you think is the most important things for RPC from the dApps developer perspective? Who think that it's actually decentralization, most important part for RPC? Come on, guys, we are on Decentralized RPC Summit, no? Yeah? Okay. Who think it is latency? A little bit better, okay. What do you want? I don't know. Okay, and reliability. Nice. Almost nobody. Just joking. So, obviously, it's not decentralization, and it is a kind of, first of, controversial facts, like counterintuitive facts, because when we spoke with hundreds of potential clients and started with, guys, we are decentralized RPC providers, like, what? Okay, could we just go to, like, to real deal? What about reliability? What about everything else? And actually, nobody care from the client's perspective, especially right now, about just decentralization. If you have, like, decentralized RPC, you will not get clients just because of that. And it is a pretty important point that, like, everybody need to know. So maybe latency, it was some raised hands. Also, like, kind of, but still, because almost everybody provide quite well latency. If you speak about Infura, for example, they work only in the United States. So basically from Singapore, from any other countries except of United States, you will get basically quite bad latency. But nobody cares, like Infura, one of the leaders at the market. So obviously for some clients, for some dApps, it is important. And from my perspective and my team perspective, it's really important stuff for the next generation of dApps. But still, currently, it's just like one of the good enough facts, and that's all. But reliability, it's one of the most important part. And we need to understand that our main goal here, when we speak about decentralized RPC, it's not just make it like as big as possible. Like we need to create thousands of RPC providers connected to each other because it will be, like brightest future world. It's more about getting some benefits for end users by decentralization. And it is a part of what we will discuss today. What else really important to actually dApp developers and any kind of RPC users? Actually, first one, it's cost efficiency. So basically price of RPC. And it's a kind of pain point because, we are trying to create the best possible product at the market. But when somebody come to you and just ask you, okay, what is the price? You can get price from the site and, yeah. Okay, what about discounts? It's already discounted. No, like maybe somebody can provide me this like several times cheaper. Okay, maybe it will be several times like worse, I don't know. It will be really bad latency, like pretty bad redundancy and so on. But yeah, like one of the first question, cost efficiency, like what is the cost? Could you make it even cheaper? Cheaper than air, I don't know. Another one is scalability. So basically, if it's not just I don't know, startup created yesterday, it's really important to have an ability to scale resources on RPC level just like automatically without any kind of additional negotiations, calls with BD team and so on. So basically, you just connected based on demand on your side from end users. Your infra should go with you without, like any kind of tricky packages when somebody trying to, get 10 times more money from you just because in the initial package it was like $50, but after several extra requests, you pay like 300, 500, 1K just occasionally. And yeah, like last one, it's convenience. And we'll come back to this a little bit later, but let's focus on three main things. So reliability, cost efficiency, and scalability. As you can see here, it's just Alchemy and AWS. Basically, I believe everybody's here know that Alchemy work only based on AWS and nobody care. But yeah, it's kind of reliable, it's kind of scalable, but it's bad from like pricing model, yep. It's cost efficiency, it's quite bad here. But still, it is quite enough speaking about reliability and scalability, but for like only for the current level of Web3 ecosystems. Because currently, as you know, even biggest applications have, like small amount of clients. Sometimes it's just lower and lower day by day, and all of us just waiting for the new like next billion of users. And with this kind of setup, I don't think so that next billion of users will see something on their mobile phones or like laptops, just because it will be just go down and nobody care. When we spoke with like several huge potential clients, they worked only with Alchemy and like, okay guys, we can't just like switch to you because we already worked with Alchemy. Okay, and what? So it's just like everybody who worked for huge enterprise in Web2 world, they understand that you can't just rely on one provider. You need to rely on several providers, at least 2, better 3 providers. But yeah, we can add GCP, we can add Infura. So your reliability and scalability will be better, but cost efficiency will be worse and worse, like one by one. And like we can say also, United States, it's not reliable enough for us. We are in crypto. Like let's add Tencent Cloud or Bare Metals or somebody else. And quick note, perfect reliability, perfect scalability, but you will lose all your money from your business just on RPC and infra. So, could we help with it by decentralization? Obviously, like why we are here, so for that. But we need to focus on quality and cost efficiency, not about quantity. Because as I said, we've seen a lot of like examples of projects who started with just like creating decentralization for the scratch and creating like hundreds of nodes, hundreds of node operators, thousands of node operators. And like on the sides you can find like we have 25,000 of nodes. We have 100K providers and so on. Why you need it? You don't need such amount of capacity. And especially you can't work with all of these providers from the quality perspective. And that's why when we started to speak with really good companies, really good startups who already tried decentralized RPC, they told us, we kind of suspicious about decentralized solutions, and especially about decentralized infrastructure. Just because we already had a really bad experience. We started with one guys, with another guys, and it was pretty bad. And it's kind of predictable just because they focused on onboarding new providers, not on onboarding, like several levels of quality checks and providing like additional services to cover all possible corner cases and so on. Actually, who did this? Alchemy did this, Infura for some kind of quick note. All of them centralized, but they have a lot of coverage for corner cases. And speaking about quality, it is a kind of high level of quality comparable to old decentralized solutions here. So, but yeah, how we can move forward with decentralization for RPC solutions? We need to move step by step. So, as we started with initial quality checks for flat, like fair price from packages, from extra payments, from extra services, and so on and so forth. And there's a lot of hidden fees. I believe it is not a good way to get it like traction. And that's why we started with just time-proven Web3 infra providers only. For the beginning, it's good enough just because we can control quality of the nodes. And together with these guys who we worked with inside of Graph Protocol, Connex Network, Forta, other networks, we can actually move forward much faster. We can rely on them, and we can create the best possible product, speaking about quality. After that, when we have initial part, we can move forward with better cost efficiency. So we can utilize resources better way. We can onboard clients who already have resources, because currently, I believe you know, like some companies who just pay you for spin up new nodes, and you just get money not from request but from new nodes. In that case, it totally does not make sense, just because we already have a lot of capacity in network, like tons of capacity. But utilization of this capacity, it's pretty low. So much better not to pay more and more to GCP, to DigitalOcean, and any other cloud-based platforms. Much better just connect existing nodes and sell empty resources to the network. It just allows you to make it just a more cost efficient. So it's kind of obvious, but still. And obviously, when you already have this kind of capacity and some kind of traction, you can't utilize resources, till the end of the days. That's why we also need to have several other mechanisms, for example, price auctions and price ceiling. I believe like price beats, price auctions, it's quite obvious why we need it, just because there's different providers with different setups in different regions, so they can use different price, and they want to set their own price, depends on their needs of utilization. So basically, they can use our flat price, but they can also set it on the lower level to get more requests, for example. But also, it is a kind of concerning to big clients, because big clients want to have some kind of predictable prices. So they don't want to like work only with price auctions. They want to have some kind of highest level of pricing that they can get from the network. That's why price ceiling, it's just like necessary stuff, and you can't go without it. And only when all of this is prepared and your clients get really good service, you can go to really permissionless join. Open market for everyone, but only when you have guarantees of quality, when you have several levels of quality checks. So, what we forgot? Convenience. Because a lot of guys right now struggling to find, okay, where's new rollups I can find, and where's, for example, WebSocket support, and so on and so forth. And it's a really like huge problem for many devs, especially if you create something like chain agnostic or like cross-chain services. You just need to work with different RPC providers, and the worst part here, you need to pay for packages to all of them, just to get some percentage of workload for each network. So your product, your decentralized RPC, obviously should have good UX. All chains in one place, MEF protection, MEV protection, account abstraction, specific data API. Yeah, and obviously intelligent price optimization, like near real time or something like that. Because in the end, all of these big clients will just push all RPC providers to the lowest price. And that's why just like stickiness of these clients not so good, because they can just go to another provider and get better price, and after that to another one, another one, another one. So it's just like additional frictions. Much better if you have some kind of automated mechanism that will provide best possible price. And yeah, it's just like evolutionary. When you started with just free nodes, paid nodes, some kind of advanced settings when you can just choose some particular providers from the pool. But we go to quite obvious stuff. It's when you use paid nodes, especially if you're not, like pretty deep techie, you need to just get what you want. You need highest speed, like best latency, it's what we have already. Optimal solution with, like some kind of balance between price and speed. And for like a lot of devs, actually, they don't need really huge speed. They kind of fine with lowest possible price. It's just, like we are fine if it will be like 5 times cheaper, why not? So, and we need to get this chance to them, so that's why right now we believe it's a good point of time to move forward with it. So, and obviously if you create decentralized RPC solution, you need to provide as much transparency as you can. In that case, it's just examples of our interface for providers on the left side, when I believe some of you guys already worked with Graph Protocol and like GraphScan. It's a kind of similar instrument. You can find like which region, which kind of node, with what kind of competition ratio you have in the network. So it's about opportunities for you. And it should be 100% like transparent. And another example, it's about who actually serves the requests. One of our clients provides this screenshot from the personal account yesterday. And as you can see here, I'm not sure that you can see, there is all of these requests was served by 18 providers. So basically there is a pretty huge differentiation between all of these providers. And it is really like speaking about decentralization. Yeah, we don't have decentralized gateway, but obviously decentralized pool of providers, it's more than just something. So my main idea here, it's decentralization, like decentralized services should be better by default to get the clients. It's not enough to be just decentralized, because decentralization itself, it's not, like some valuable thing if you will not give any benefits from that to end users. So focus on what actually users want to get, not what you want to give them. And yeah, we need to build an open and collaborative community. Altogether, we need to focus on collaboration, not competition. That's why we work together with all kinds of aggregators, RPC providers, to make it much better day by day. So we created initially dRPC with p2p.org, and it was more than 10, like from 10 to 15 other Web3 infra providers. And currently we have around 20 data providers around the globe, and hundreds of startups, as well as well-known names, and more coming. Why it's just 20 providers? As I said, all of this, it's about money generation. It's not about, like printing tokens or money from the air. That's why we need to be sure that providers connected to us get enough money to cover their expenses on servers, workforce, and so on. That's why we are trying to keep it at this amount till the moment we will create enough demand from the client side and enough quality checks. As I said before, several levels of quality checks to be sure that our final end users will get highest possible, the best possible service. That's all from my side. Let's make your dev a little bit more dev. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. You are early. We're not doing this normally, but because you bought yourself an extra 7 minutes. Any questions? Yes.
Hi, my name is Nazar. My question is in Fura already started a decentralized infrastructure network where RPC is working as a service. How different do you consider that is with your ones?
I believe it's a kind of wrong question, because dRPC already started decentralized RPC service. Infura just said that they will start. It's huge difference. But yeah, I don't know a lot of details about Infura, how it will be. But obviously, we already spent, plenty of time on creating all kind. Okay. So we already spent a lot of time on quality checks and rating system, load balancing system, and so far and so on. So it is a kind of complicated stuff that we created not just like by small team of our startup, but also with well-known Web3 developers from Web3 infra companies. From my perspective, I believe then more we will have any kind of aggregators, decentralized interfaces, and so on. It will be better just because competition just create better solutions in the market. So I'm pretty happy if Infura will start building something, and we will see pretty good products, and the user can choose between all of them, or even better, use Infura, dRPC, Anchor, and Gateway FM, and all of these guys, because it will be more sustainable.
I have a question regarding price and performance curve. So if we look at QuickNode, Infura, whatever, you have free tier, and then you have mostly the differentiation is by volume. And we can kind of assume that probably free tier has less guarantees in terms of capacity and so on, and latency will be worse and so on. But between the paid tiers, I don't even know if there is any differentiation. You buy just more calls per period of time. Have you seen any differentiation between price performance? If I want to buy the lower latency and I want to pay for this, do I have this opportunity with decentralized networks, or will I have it?
If we compare, if we compare free tier nodes and commercial nodes, actually it's a huge difference, because even in case of Infura or Alchemy or so on, usually public nodes or just free tiers, it's not only about amount of requests. It's also about methods that's supported by the chain. It's also about geo distribution. For example, if you want to get geo distribution in QuickNode, you need to pay additionally for geo distribution package, regional coverage or something like that. In case of Infura, you just don't have it. You can pay for anything, but you don't get it anyhow. Maybe in the future, decentralized Infura it will be. In case of decentralized RPC, it's just natural by default, because when you combine a lot of providers from different points of planet Earth, you get global coverage. And the main thing is how to make load balancing system, rating system, the best possible way here to cover with from the best latency with lower delays, with lower price, and so on. And speaking about dRPC especially, we support all methods, even on really small checks, because usually there is a lot of requests okay guys, we need debug and trace method. Pay we consume for $30, package cost $50, but the bug trace from $200. Why we need to pay that? In case of decentralized solutions, you pay for what you actually use.
We got time for one more question. Last question.
Hey, Constantine. Thank you for the great talk. I guess I think you framed the benefits of decentralization really well. I think it's really helpful for the market to have so many more options, I guess, ultimately for the end users. And I guess I'd be really interested to kind of switch that framing and actually think about it from the node operator's perspective. I guess, how much of a say do they have in the kind of the future of the network? I guess in terms of pricing power, the split between the platform, how much they're earning. I guess just thinking about your community more broadly. Sorry, to be really clear. Yeah, just how much of a say will your node operators have a say in, I guess, the future of the platform in terms of, I guess they're providing a service, but do they have a say in how much of a take they get, or the split between dRPC versus the node operators? What does that look like? And I guess, what is your community strategy more broadly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we charge only 20% from payments from the clients. 80% goes to node providers. And as I said before, it's on the current stage, especially 20 providers, it's huge enough. So if you compare, for example, I don't know, other providers, other aggregators, they have hundreds of providers. Yep. And even if they have biggest number of clients, each check for each provider will be pretty low. Currently, it's not, huge money for the providers, but when we onboard all of these guys, we initially speak about, okay guys, it's just an additional utilization of your nodes. Feel free to connect it to Blast API, POC network, Lava network. Like, it's totally not a problem. And we believe it is actually fair point that all of these guys could work directly with customers through any kind of aggregators, marketplaces, and so on, because everybody win from this situation. Because initially resources will be cheaper, quality will be higher, so why not?
Great. Thank you, Constantine. Appreciate it.